roughly 250 to 300 million people who are consumers, about the size of the United States. And the segment that's becoming prosperous is growing every year from below.
On October 9th, 2024, the world mourned the profound loss of Ratan Tata, a titan of industry whose legacy transcended the realms of business and philanthropy. His passing marked the end of an era, leaving behind a legacy rich in compassion, integrity, and innovation. Ratan Tata was not merely an industrialist. He was a symbol of hope for countless individuals and communities, embodying a vision that prioritized humanity alongside enterprise. Through his achievements, Ratan Tata not only transformed the Tata Group into a global powerhouse, but also uplifted the lives of countless Indians, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's industrial, philanthropic, and social landscape. His journey is one of profound personal and professional success, yet it is also a story filled with quiet sacrifice, emotional resilience, and an unwavering commitment to the values of integrity and compassion. Ratan Tata was born on December 28, 1937, into a family that had already made a significant mark on Indian society and industry. His great-grandfather, Jamsetji Tata, was the visionary behind the Tata Group, India's premier industrial conglomerate, known for its contributions to sectors ranging from steel and automobiles to software and hospitality. Jamsetji Tata had laid the foundation of a business empire that combined industrial success with social responsibility, a value system that would shape Ratan Tata's future endeavors. However, despite being born into privilege, Ratan's early life was not without its challenges. His parents, Naval Tata and Suni Commissariat, separated when he was just 10 years old. This was a pivotal moment in his life, one that shaped his resilience and quiet determination. After the separation, Ratan and his younger brother Jimmy were raised by their grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata. The bond between Ratan and his grandmother was a deep one, and it was through her that he absorbed the values of empathy, integrity, and a sense of responsibility toward others. Ratan Tata's early education took place at some of the most prestigious schools in India, including Campion School and the Cathedral and John Connon School in Mumbai. His academic performance was strong, and from an early age, he exhibited a curious mind and a desire to learn. His grandmother, recognizing his potential, encouraged him to pursue his studies abroad, and in the mid-1950s, Ratan Tata left India for the United States to attend the Riverdale County School in New York. Ratan's decision to study architecture at Cornell University was a reflection of his broader interests beyond the world of business. His love for design, engineering, and urban planning hinted at a young man with an eye for detail and a creative approach to problem solving. While his family's legacy in business was always in the background, Ratan was determined to chart his own course. He graduated from Cornell University in 1962 with a degree in architecture, a subject that appealed to his sense of design and structure. His education in the US exposed him to a different way of thinking, and he was deeply influenced by the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship that defined the American business landscape. During this time, he also developed a keen interest in automobiles, an industry that would later play a crucial role in his career. After completing his education, Ratan Tata briefly worked at the architectural firm Jones & Emmons in Los Angeles. However, the call of duty to his family and country was strong, and in 1962, he returned to India to join the Tata Group. His journey from this point onward would be marked by an unwavering dedication to not just growing the Tata empire, but also redefining what it meant to be a business leader in a rapidly changing world. When Ratan Tata joined the Tata Group in 1962, the conglomerate was already a giant in Indian industry, with interests in everything from steel and power to automobiles and chemicals. However, Ratan's entry into the business world was far from the glamorous ascent many expected. Rather than taking on an executive role, he started his career on the shop floor of Tata Steel in Jamshedpur, working alongside factory workers and learning the intricacies of the business from the ground up. This experience was instrumental in shaping his leadership style. Ratan Tata believed in understanding the struggles and challenges faced by employees at all levels of the organization. His early exposure to the inner workings of Tata Steel gave him a unique perspective on what it meant to be both an employee and an employer. He developed a deep sense of empathy for the workforce, a value that would guide his decisions throughout his career. Over the next several years, Ratan Tata worked in various capacities within the Tata Group. He took on leadership roles in several subsidiaries, including Tata Motors and Tata Chemicals, gaining valuable experience and insights into different industries. One of his earliest tests as a leader came when he was appointed to manage the national radio and electronics company, Nelco, a struggling subsidiary of the Tata Group. In 1971, Ratan Tata was given the task of reviving Nelco, a Tata company that was on the verge of bankruptcy. At the time, Nelco's market share had plummeted, and it was struggling to compete in a rapidly changing market for consumer electronics. Ratan was brought in to turn the company around, a challenge that tested his leadership skills and strategic thinking. Ratan implemented a series of bold changes aimed at modernizing Nelco's operations, improving product quality, and revamping its marketing strategy. Under his leadership, Nelco began to show signs of recovery. Sales improved, and the company was able to capture a larger share of the market. However, external factors, including an economic recession and labor strikes, hampered Nelco's progress, and the company eventually faced insurmountable challenges. Despite Nelco's eventual failure, Ratan Tata considered the experience to be one of the most important learning moments of his career. It taught him valuable lessons about resilience, risk-taking, and the importance of adaptability in business. Rather than seeing failure as a setback, Ratan used it as an opportunity to reflect on his leadership style and refine his approach to problem-solving. This period of struggle instilled in him a deep sense of perseverance, a trait that would serve him well in the years to come. In 1991, following the retirement of his predecessor, J.R.D. Tata, Ratan Tata was appointed chairman of Tata Sons, the holding company of the Tata Group. His ascension to the top leadership position was met with both anticipation and skepticism. At the time, the Tata Group was a sprawling conglomerate with more than 100 companies operating across multiple industries. It was a decentralized organization, with each company operating with a high degree of autonomy. Many within the organization were resistant to change, and Ratan Tata faced the challenge of consolidating the group while maintaining its competitive edge. One of Ratan Tata's first moves as chairman was to implement a series of reforms aimed at streamlining the group's operations. He recognized that in order for the Tata Group to remain competitive in an increasingly globalized world, it needed to adopt a more cohesive and unified strategy. This meant reducing the autonomy of individual companies and centralizing key decision-making processes. While this move was initially met with resistance from senior executives, Ratan Tata's vision for a more integrated and efficient Tata Group soon began to pay off. Under his leadership, the Tata Group embarked on an ambitious global expansion strategy. Ratan Tata believed that for the Tata Group to truly thrive in the 21st century, it needed to extend its reach beyond India and become a global player. His bold vision for the Tata Group included a series of high-profile acquisitions that would transform the conglomerate into an international powerhouse. Ratan Tata's leadership was defined by his ability to take calculated risks and seize opportunities in the global marketplace. One of the most iconic moments in his career was the acquisition of Tetley Tea in 2000, a British brand that was one of the largest tea companies in the world. The acquisition marked a significant milestone for the Tata Group, as it was the first time an Indian company had taken over a major British brand. Following the success of the Tetley acquisition, Ratan Tata continued to pursue international opportunities. In 2007, Tata Steel acquired the Anglo-Dutch steel company Corus, in what was then the largest ever acquisition by an Indian company. The $12 billion deal catapulted Tata Steel into the ranks of the world's largest steel producers and solidified Ratan Tata's reputation as a visionary leader capable of making bold moves in the global arena. Perhaps the most famous of Ratan Tata's acquisitions was the purchase of the iconic British car brands Jaguar and Land Rover in 2008. At the time, both brands were struggling under the ownership of Ford, and many industry analysts were skeptical about Tata Motors' ability to turn the companies around. However, Ratan Tata's deep belief in the potential of these brands, combined with his long-standing passion for automobiles, drove him to pursue the acquisition. The deal, worth $2.3 billion, was a game-changer for Tata Motors and the global automotive industry. Under Tata's ownership, Jaguar and Land Rover underwent a remarkable transformation, returning to profitability and regaining their status as prestigious luxury brands. The success of the acquisition was a testament to Ratan Tata's vision, patience, and leadership, as well as his ability to navigate complex global markets and industries. While Ratan Tata's global acquisitions garnered widespread attention, one of his most ambitious projects was closer to home: the development of the Tata Nano, a car designed to be affordable for the masses in India. The idea for the Nano was born out of Ratan Tata's desire to provide a safe, affordable, and reliable means of transportation for Indian families, many of whom relied on motorcycles or scooters to get around. The Nano, dubbed the world's cheapest car, was introduced in 2008 with a starting price of just 1 lakh rupees, approximately $2,000 at the time. The car was a bold attempt to revolutionize the Indian automobile market and make car ownership accessible to millions of people who had previously been priced out of the market. The development of the Nano was a deeply personal project for Ratan Tata. He had long been concerned about the safety of families riding on two-wheelers, and he envisioned the Nano as a solution to this problem. However, despite the initial excitement and hype surrounding the launch, the Nano faced significant challenges. Issues with production delays, safety concerns, and marketing missteps hampered its success, and sales of the car fell short of expectations. While the Nano did not achieve the commercial success that Ratan Tata had hoped for, it remains an important symbol of his commitment to innovation and social responsibility. One of the most enduring aspects of Ratan Tata's legacy is his commitment to philanthropy and social responsibility. Throughout his career, he remained deeply connected to the values of the Tata family, which had always prioritized giving back to society. Under his leadership, the Tata Group continued to invest heavily in a wide range of social initiatives, from education and healthcare to rural development and environmental sustainability. Ratan Tata believed that businesses had a responsibility to contribute to the well-being of the communities they operated in. This belief was reflected in the numerous charitable initiatives supported by the Tata Trusts, the philanthropic arm of the Tata Group. The Tata Trusts, which control a significant portion of the shares in Tata Sons, have been involved in funding a wide range of projects aimed at improving education, healthcare, and rural livelihoods in India. One of the key areas of focus for Ratan Tata was education. He believed that access to quality education was essential for the development of individuals and societies. Under his leadership, the Tata Group funded the establishment of several educational institutions, including the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TISS, and the Indian Institute of Science, IISc. The Tata Trusts also provided scholarships to thousands of students, enabling them to pursue higher education both in India and abroad. Healthcare was another important area of focus for Ratan Tata. The The Tata Group funded the construction of hospitals, clinics, and research centers across India, with a particular emphasis on providing healthcare to underserved communities. The Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai, one of the leading cancer treatment centers in the country, is a testament to the Tata Group's commitment to improving healthcare outcomes for all Indians. Ratan Tata's philanthropic efforts extended beyond India's borders as well. In the wake of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the Tata Group played a significant role in the relief and rehabilitation efforts, providing aid to affected communities and helping to rebuild infrastructure. Similarly, the Tata Group was at the forefront of disaster relief efforts following the devastating earthquake in Gujarat in 2001 and the floods in Mumbai in 2005. Ratan Tata's leadership was not only defined by his business acumen, but also by his deep compassion for people. One of the most defining moments of his career came in 2008, when the terrorist attacks in Mumbai shook the nation. The Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, a property owned by the Tata Group, was one of the key sites targeted during the attacks. The hotel, a symbol of luxury and heritage, was severely damaged, and many lives were lost in the horrific events that unfolded over the course of 3 days. While Ratan Tata was known for his public acts of philanthropy, he was also a deeply private individual who often went out of his way to help others without seeking recognition. Stories of his quiet acts of kindness have surfaced over the years, painting a picture of a man who was as humble as he was generous. One such story involves a former employee of the Tata Group who had been diagnosed with a serious illness. Unable to afford the expensive treatment, the employee reached out to Ratan Tata for help. Without hesitation, Ratan Tata personally covered the cost of the treatment, ensuring that the employee received the care he needed. Another story that highlights Ratan Tata's compassion involves his interactions with a young entrepreneur who had written to him seeking advice. Rather than simply offering words of encouragement, Ratan Tata took the time to meet with the entrepreneur, offering him mentorship and guidance. This willingness to help others, even in small and quiet ways, was a hallmark of Ratan Tata's career. In 2012, after more than 2 decades at the helm of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata officially stepped down as chairman, passing the baton to his successor, Cyrus Mistry. His decision to retire marked the end of an era, but it was also the beginning of a new chapter for the Tata Group. Under Ratan Tata's leadership, the conglomerate had grown into a global powerhouse, with revenues exceeding $100 billion and operations in more than 100 countries. While Ratan Tata's formal role in the Tata Group came to an end, he remained an influential figure both within the organization and in the broader business community. He continued to serve as chairman emeritus of Tata Sons, offering guidance and counsel to his successors. He also remained actively involved in philanthropy, focusing on initiatives that were close to his heart, including education, healthcare, and rural development. Ratan Tata's passing in October 2024 marked the end of an extraordinary life, but his legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. He was a man who led with heart, who believed in the power of kindness, and who showed the world that business and humanity are not mutually exclusive. His life's work was not just about profits, it was about people, about creating a better future for everyone, regardless of their background or circumstances. Throughout his career, Ratan Tata remained deeply committed to the values of integrity, empathy, and social responsibility. He believed that businesses had a duty to serve not only their shareholders, but also their employees, customers, and the communities in which they operated. This philosophy was at the core of his leadership, and it is what set him apart from many of his peers. That's all for this tribute to the incredible life of Ratan Tata. His legacy will continue to inspire generations, reminding us of the power of compassion, vision, and leadership. If his journey has touched you in some way, don't forget to share this video with others. Like and subscribe for more stories that leave a lasting impact. Until next time, let's keep Ratan Tata's spirit of integrity and kindness alive in all we do. Take care.